Stop reading a biography of a you that no longer exists. Many believers feel like they're stuck, their story has stopped, or they're behind of where they're supposed to be. But the problem is they keep rereading a version or a story that God has already removed. We keep picking up an old biography that was written in pain, it was written in sin, it was written in shame, it was written in survival and through trauma. But that is not the story that we are meant to embrace. 2 Corinthians 5:17 in TLB, it says, when someone becomes a Christian, he becomes a brand new person inside. He's not the same anymore. A new life has begun, not will begin, but has begun. If any man be in Christ, he's a new creation. This is a book replacement. The old you no longer exists. Now there is a new you to embrace. But the thing with us as believers is sometimes we're so attached to that expired story. It's familiar. We default to familiar, even if it's painful. If I am used to being in chaos, if I'm raised around chaos, it's going to be difficult for me to embrace peace because it feels like something is off. So our mind will default to familiar even if it's painful. And the Israelites experienced this because they were being brought out of Egypt into the promised land. They were released from being slaves and going into a land of freedom. But in inconvenience in the wilderness, they began to complain. In Exodus 16:2-3 says, then the whole congregation of the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat, and when we ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. They began to romanticize slavery. From a place of inconvenience, they were looking back at where they were coming from, and they forgot all of the terrible things being slaves, and they were thinking about, we used to sit by the pots of meat. But this is what the enemy uses as one of his greatest traps: nostalgia. Nostalgia that will take what happened to you in the past and it will diminish all of the negative, all of the pain. It will let you forget the bad parts and it will make you long for what used to be. In Ecclesiastes 7:10, in the Message translation, it says, don't always be asking, where are the good old days? Wise folks don't ask questions like that. The path of the righteous shines brighter and brighter. For us as believers, it only gets better from here. My best days are ahead of me and not behind me. So I don't look back longing for what used to be, but I look forward and embrace what I am looking forward to. And this happened with Saul as well. He saw himself not worthy of being that first king of Israel. God had picked him. He had set him as the first king of Israel, but he saw himself as insecure. He saw himself as not worthy enough. And in 1 Samuel 15:17, it says, when you were little in your own eyes, were you not head of the tribes of Israel? So although Saul carried the title, he never saw himself. He never embraced who God said he was. And so that kept him bound, that kept him stuck in his old patterns. And the thing for us is we need to stop reading a story that God didn't write. Your mind will pull you back into old habits. It'll pull you back into old fears, old rules, or old insecurities. But we have to embrace that version of me exists no longer. In Romans 6:6, it says, knowing this, that our old man was crucified with him, that we should no longer be slaves of sin. So your old biography is not a reference book, it is a tombstone. It's not something for me to keep going back to. It is for me to look and see that I no longer exist there. I now have a new life to embrace. And some of the people that went through difficult times but didn't stay in it is Joseph. He was sold by his brothers. He was in the king's palace, but he was there as a worker. Then he got lied on. He went back to jail. He was imprisoned unrightfully, and then he was brought out of it. But even in all of the pain that he went through, he didn't let the bitterness now choose to tell him how he should live his life. In Genesis 41:51, it says that Joseph called the name of his firstborn Manasseh. And it means, for God has made me forget all my toil in all my father's house. So his healing doesn't come from rereading, but he chose to forget. He chose to embrace what God had done, and he released all of that pain. He didn't hold it against his brothers. He didn't hold it against anybody, but he released it. And just like Paul in Philippians 3:13, it says, I am still not all I should be, but I'm focusing all my energies on this one thing, not many things, but one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. Forgetting the past means not rehearsing it, not going back to it, not longing for it, not going and indulging into old habits, but looking forward to what lies ahead. If God said that greater are your days ahead of you, that you will live life and he will satisfy you with long life, that's what I'm looking ahead towards. So I'm not fixing my eyes on old storylines. I embrace what God has authored. And the beautiful thing about God is he doesn't rewrite your story. He doesn't go and take white out and then rewrite over your mistakes that you made. No, he has already written the perfect story for you. In Psalm 139:16, it says, you scheduled each day of my life before I began to breathe. Every day was recorded in your book. That means the purpose and the plans of God for your life have been written before you even made mistakes. So when you make mistakes, it's not God trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to make this work? He knows that the good things that he has written, they will surely come to pass. That is the book that you should be living your life through. In John 10:10, it says, my purpose is to give life in all its fullness, not just to have a mediocre life, not just to get by, but in all its fullness. That my expectation for my life should be better than I can possibly think, better than what I've seen, better than I can imagine. And God will over exceed every expectation. So how do we put that old book down? Forget about it. Stop rehearsing it. Stop entertaining those friends. Stop entertaining those habits. Fully embrace, look forward to what God has done for you. In Galatians 3:13 and 14, it says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles in Christ Jesus. So I'm no longer under condemnation. I'm no longer under guilt. I'm no longer under lack. I'm no longer separated from God. I'm no longer disqualified. I'm fully embraced, and I am already blessed with all the blessings of God. And so for you, instead of rehearsing what was done to you, pick up the new book. Live from what God has written about you, and let that be your experience. I believe you were blessed by this word, and I would love to personally invite you, come and experience the love of God in Christ at the Logic Church right here in Houston, and grow in the word of his grace. Join us every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. at the address on your screens, and I can't wait to have you in the room with us.